remember the hearing that took place yesterday about the report from her? You remember this one with Jayapal? The Democrats are all trying to make it look like that the report exonerated Joe Biden, that Joe Biden was not found guilty. Remember, I told you this was the memo that they send out to say that the report found him innocent of all charges, and it's not the case. Let me share this with you just to remind you, and then I have another one I want to share with you after this.
The primary law that you analyzed for potential prosecution was part of the Espionage Act, 18 U.S.C. 793E, which criminalizes willful retention or disclosure of national defense information. Is that correct?
Congresswoman, that is one statute that we analyzed. I need to go back and make sure that I take note of the word that you used, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm
appears
going
in
to
the
continue
report,
with
and that's
my
not part of my
questions.
task as a
I'm going to
prosecutor.
continue with my questions.
The
I
judgment
know
that I
that the
received,
term.
that I ultimately reached
I know
related to
that the
whether
term.
sufficient evidence existed such that the likely
You
outcome
you exonerated
would be a conviction.
him. I know that
did
the
not
term
exonerate him.
willful
That word does not appear in
retention
the
has a.
report, Congresswoman.
Mr. Hurd, my time.
And see, she's lying. You exonerate him. And he said, no, I didn't. And she's like, but that's what we want to push out there. That's what we want people to believe, which brings me to this one. She got the memo. She's regurgitating what the memo is telling her to say. And the same thing on MSDNC. They're saying the same thing, just in a different way. Watch.
We are going to hear from Robert Hur today on Capitol Hill, whom Democrats and Republicans both have some issues with, although very different issues. But we should really start this conversation with the fact that Robert Hur ultimately concluded that there were no criminal charges warranted in President Biden's, classified documents case.
You see this? Blatantly lying. Blatantly lying. That was not in the case. That was not in the report. Joe Biden is 100% guilty. How do you not be guilty from being a senator and VP and having these documents, but President Trump being president where he can have the documents, but he's the only one that's guilty, not Joe Biden for actually doing the crime? If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me. Bless me by hitting the thumbs up. And if you don't like Will Johnson, it's okay. I'll get over it. Just hit the thumbs down twice. Show me what's up. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, let me play one more thing from the hearing yesterday. You remember Pencil Neck? You remember Adam Schiff Pencil Neck? He was on there and being a total hypocrite. You remember that? Let me share this with, let's play some of this from yesterday with Adam Schiff, and then I'm going to show you the reason why I want to play this one, just like I did Jayapal. Watch.
Mr. I want to ask you about some of the differences between the facts involving President Biden and President Trump, but before I do, I want to refer back to your opening statement in which you said that you did not disparage the president in your report. But of course, you did disparage the president. You disparaged him in terms you had to know would have a maximal political impact. You understood your report would be public, right?
I understood, based on comments that the Attorney General had made, that he had committed to make as much of my report public as consistent with legal policy and legal requirements.
And you could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report, and that it did not reflect my analysis
you could have
and the explanation of my decision.
You could have written your report
General.
with comments about his specific recollection as to documents or a set of documents, but you chose a general pejorative reference to the president. You understood when you made that decision, didn't you, Mr. Hur, that you would ignite a political firestorm with that language, didn't you?
Congressman, politics played no part whatsoever in my investigative steps.
But you understood nevertheless,
the words
didn't you,
that I put in my report.
Mr. Hur, you cannot tell me you're so naive as to think your words would not have created a political firestorm. You understood that, didn't you, when you wrote those words, when you decided to include those words, when you decided to go beyond specific references to documents? You understood how they would be manipulated by my colleagues here on the GOP side of the aisle and by President Trump. You understood that, did you not?
Hypocrite. Am I wrong? Straight up hypocrite. Remember I was talking about it yesterday. Well, listen to Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds, he caught on to it as well. Remember, Pencil Neck was censored because of all of his lying. He knew exactly what he was doing. And because he was censored, that's why he's trying to run as a senator now in the state of California. So his legacy is a senator and not as a censored House representative.
And by the way, what's his name that's running against Schiff? What's his name?
In California?
The baseball player, Steve Garvey.
Yes.
He's actually polling right now ahead of Shifty Schiff.
I hope that stays
if he loses,
the course.
I would be so happy.
Yes. I hope that stays the course. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me play this for you. Listen to Byron Donalds talking about pencil neck.
Nobody should even be listening to Shifty Schiff. Isn't that the guy that was in the intelligence community during the first impeachment hearing and lying about what was actually coming up through the intelligence community? This is the guy that was lying about Russia collusion. He knew it was a lie, went along with it anyway. Speaker McCarthy, rightly so, booted him from the intelligence community. But we're going to listen to him like he's a credible source? Please give me a break. Look, the presidential nominee is entitled to the intelligence briefings because if they win, he's going to have to take command of the nation again. And you need to have that level of intelligence that the president sees. This is a joke. Conflate that with a Joe Biden, you know, the guy who left classified documents in his garage next to his Corvette. This is a joke brought to us by the radical Democrat left. I mean, it's total insanity, but what else do you expect from the radical left at this point? This is what they do on a regular basis. They are insane, their logic sucks, and then they gaslight the American people. We should not be listening to these people. They are foolish. They are the ones who are leading America into decline.
100%. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, because when I was listening to Adam Schiff yesterday, spewing that nonsense, I'm like, I can't be the only one recognizing this.
You like the content Will Johnson is producing? To stay informed and up to date with the current events, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Also, to find Will Johnson, visit www.uaf.media.